to town hall. Ma'am, what is a town hall? What are we going to discuss, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, this is an initiative by ForumIAS to discuss the questions which we have in our mind, but generally whose answers we can't find on YouTube, right? And only experience can tell those answers. And we have generally found that there is a gap in finding answers to such questions and which generally impact our preparation, right? So we are going to find answers to such questions, and this is basically a community meet. So we are going to have a good communication here, and we will share our experiences and insights with each other. This session, me and Sakshi ma'am will take, right?
So, first thing that we're going to talk about today is that you are not alone in the problems that you face, right? The reason that we're having a town hall meeting, right? The reason that we're talking to you together today, right? Is that you have to understand and realize that it's not just me. It's not just you who has a particular problem. Ma'am, schedules are not on time. Ma'am, not getting good marks. I don't know, am I worth it or not? Do you get it? The idea is that we're not alone. Yes? Yes? And now?
So basically, we will start with questions. We have different themes to discuss. First and the most important theme is the queries like I'm stressed, what should I do? I'm not able to follow a particular timetable, what should I do? Even though I plan everything, I'm not able to execute it, what should I do, right? So all of us, the UPSC aspirants, are facing different kind of stress because we are coming from different backgrounds. So everyone is unique in that regard. So we want to first talk about those issues, right? Then second kind of issues are related to prelims preparation. Because prelims is approaching, we need to know how to approach it. Whatever your doubts are, whatever specific doubts are, you can ask regarding prelims preparation. And then regarding mains preparation or any other kind of preparation, any other kind of questions apart from these themes, we can discuss. Okay.
So the way we ask questions is, ma'am, I have got this problem. Okay? Then I'll ask everybody, do you also have similar problems? And then you tell me, all right? 3 main themes. First theme, scheduling. Scheduling, time management, right? Making targets, not able to follow. Second thing, prelims, right?
Yeah.
Third thing, mains, right? And then in the end, ma'am, other issues. I feel terrible, right? Feelings problems. Okay? Number 4. You ready with me? Okay? So number 1, scheduling errors, right? Scheduling issues. Tell me, what is the problem that we face? हाँ.
कि मैं जितना टाइम डिवोट कर रहा हूँ कोई टॉपिक पे मैं बहुत ज्यादा ओवर डिवोट कर देता हूँ माइंड में लगता है कि 30 से 35 मिनट इसको मुझे पढ़ना है जैसे कुछ भी WHO के बारे में या पर जब मैं अपने नोट्स उसको फिनिश करता हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि 1-1.5 घंटा उसमें बीत गया और ये मेरे मतलब जो गोल्स होते हैं उसको सीधा स्लैश करके हाफ कर देता है जो पूरे होने होते हैं तो उससे थोड़ा बुरा लगता है
बुरा लगता है ना ट्रू किसी और के साथ हुआ ऐसा मेरे साथ बहुत होता है ना कि मैम इन द मॉर्निंग आई वेक अप एंड डिसाइड that by 12 o'clock today in the afternoon, right, 3 chapters of polity will be done. And at 1 o'clock, only 1 chapter is over. Now I feel terrible. Stress. Same, right? And I thought it is an easy topic, but it took half a day. Now my schedule is down in the dustbin. What do I do now? Tell me how many people similar problems? Hai na? So, who's alone? Nobody's alone, right? Sir, what is the solution?
Yeah. So basically, it's about that you are targeting something and you are not able to achieve it within that frame of time, right? So we need to understand what is the cause of it, where we are making the error, right? So before starting to give a timeline to achieve any objective, we have to understand whether we are realistic or not. Are we underestimating the task? Or we overestimating the task? It depends on the nature of objective. Revising parliament chapter and revising a constitutional body chapter. 2 same chapters from polity book, but a different level of task. Revising parliament chapter takes time, it takes patience, and it takes efforts. you will feel that you won't be able to do Parliament chapter in a one go. You will have to divide it into at least 3 chunks. Then only you can do this Parliament chapter. So my response to your question is, we have to be very realistic when it comes to our goal setting. There is a book by Harvard Business Review about time management. It's basically this book. This 20 minutes time manager. It is a very good and practical book for time management. It says that it is better in the beginning to overestimate the time. If you think you can do a chapter in 1 hour, you schedule 1.5 hour for it. And if you can think that you are able to do this task in one go, you chunk it. You do only this task in one go. Right? So start small. Set very small targets that you can achieve in the beginning, that are realistic, that are achievable. First thing is this. Second is, we have to see our own pattern. We have to observe ourselves. The most important rule of time management is self-awareness. We have to be aware of our own self, right? Where we are giving time during a particular day. If you thought yesterday that you will study between these hours for a particular subject, what did you do previous day during that time? What were you doing for the whole week during that time? Right? So you should know where your time is going. Sometimes we think we know, but that is perception. It is not empirical data. Time management you can do, but you have to know yourself. You have to observe yourself for a week so that you know where you are spending your time. Now you are in position to set a goal. Right? Now, once you set a goal, it's not the ending. It's just 25% task done. The next thing that you will have to do is prioritize your goals. Because when you wake up in the morning, it may not be the good idea to study constitutional body chapter, right? Because you can do it when you feel like you want to sleep. It's easy. But Parliament and fundamental rights are not easy. It requires focus. It requires commitment. It requires concentration. So you should know your body clock, when you are most productive, when you are most likely to default. You know yourself better, right? So your goal setting should be done in that context. Most important things, generally when it comes to prioritization, there is a concept given by some productivity expert. We have to break down our task into 4 parts, right? First part, urgent and most important. Second, not urgent, but important. Third, urgent, but not important. Fourth, neither urgent nor important. Once you will know how to prioritize your task, you would be able to stick to the goals that you have set for yourself. And one last thing that I want to say before closing this answer is, we are human beings. We have to take in account that we would falter in some goals. 20 to 30% you won't be able to achieve it, right? Therefore, there is need for reassessment after every week. You have to see, okay, you are not able to do how much percentage. If it is more than 40%, then you will have to reevaluate everything. Where is the problem? How to find solution? But if it is in between 10 to 20%, then it is fine. In a week or after few days, you can keep some hours to do all the work that you have not been able to do. Right? Any other questions on this topic? Any personal issues, like I'm not able to do this topic or this subject? Fine. Any other question on any other topic?
Sir, most of time we are very reluctant and rigid to take our habit. Basically, we make so many plans and we are unable to execute that same in daily basis. But whenever we think this time I made my planning very religiously and with very rational approach. But what happened next time? We get confused to take on planning. We think, this is something not going to work. Why? Because next day we thought I will read today this chapter and this segment of syllabus, but same time we are thinking I will be not able to complete it by that certain time, and we feel very insecure, undefined and uncertain to take our time management. Most of time we get carried away with so many things and we think whatever I had planned I couldn't execute, and that insecurity and that kind of demotivation put us in more darkness. And so sometimes when we are in not position to make realistic target, then we get overwhelmed with our own assigned task, whatever we had thought definitely I am going to make this happen. But no one is here to put check and balance on us, neither our father, mother, family and mentor. At the end we are sitting in room alone and we have to put check and balance at individual level. Why it's become very difficult to take charge of on tasks, whatever we have assigned ourselves. I found I will read 10-12 hours for 1 week. Okay, I am not going anywhere. But when it comes to I have to make planning on weekly basis and monthly basis, and at least for 6 months, I will not change my place, I will not change my book, I will not change, I will anything. In a specified circumstances, I will be doing these things consistently on consistent basis. But at the same time, insecurity will be running in my mind back the side. No, you won't be able to sustain these things. Within next day, I will think, okay, I have to go somewhere and this planning is not going to execute.
Right. And it becomes a circle, and never-ending circle. Keeps happening again and again and again. And a feedback loop. But now, I have one question again. I understand, okay? The thing is that, are you alone in this? You saying, I don't have anybody around me, I don't have friends, I don't have mentor. Number one, mentor is there. Okay? Remember, mentor is always there. That is first thing. Second thing is, this does not happen to you alone. Has it happened to me? Yes. Has it happened to you? Has it happened to anybody here? Vicious cycle of feeling bad, feeling insecure. How do you get out of that loop? That is question one. And second question is, how do I stop this from happening to me? And it happens to everybody, every one of us. That's why we talked about scheduling, time management. Sometimes my target is going to be unrealistic. And sometimes I might be just having a bad day. I can't be 100% every day. Right? And do you expect anything else to work at 100% every day? Do you expect a machine? Do you expect other people? Do you expect the government? Do you expect the weather to be 100% good every day? Nothing, right? Are you with me here? Nothing ever works at 100% every single day, day after day. No, because then that is not 100%. Then that is the average. You get it? You get it? So, number one that we have to do, I have to identify my average for every day. Are you getting me? It is not 10 hours a day. It is not 15 hours a day. That's not average. That's not even realistic. Are you getting me? Samajh rahe hain? See, your average is somewhere 6 to 8 hours, which is expected by people to work in capitalism. Normal 9 to 5 job is 8 hours. And we call it normal. Lunch break included. Right? Which is an accepted measure for society. For a reason. Not without reason. Beyond that, I can do 2 or 3 days a week of overtime for myself. Because UPSC is my own child. UPSC is my own entrepreneurship. UPSC is my startup. I want to work for myself. So 3-4 days a week, 4 days maximum, right? I will do extra, but my normal has to be average. Are you getting me? So instead of putting yourself in a target which is here, you have to have an average target, so that any time that you exceed, you feel good about yourself. Are you getting me? Any motivation technique has to have a carrot, has to have a stick. It has to have something positive, and it has to stop you from doing something too little, too less. है ना? What is happening is, my target is here. I fail to achieve every day. I keep feeling worse. In order to feel better, I keep increasing my target. More failure. Are you getting me? What we have to do is that UPSC is a very, very, very long process. है ना? Very long process of studying. And if I break this, right, if I break this into large steps, I will have to jump very high, right? And I'll keep on falling. Instead, you have to make smaller, smaller, smaller steps. Are you getting me? And that's what he said, right? That's what Sir said. To make smaller targets, right? And you have to have cushion. Why? Because if I fail, I should have margin to cover up my losses. Are you getting me? And that's true for everybody, right? There has to be a break. There has to be cushion between all of my plans, right? And my assessment of what will take how much time, right? It is not just the length of the chapter. It is also the nature of the chapter. You know, sometimes 3 pages can also be very, very information dense, right? And 30 pages can be nothing. You know, sometimes watching a 2.5 hours ka class can take you 3 hours. And sometimes you can spend 4 hours watching YouTube. You know? So it has to do with the content. How much work I'm making my brain do, right? And in the morning, again, this is from psychology. In the morning, I have the capacity to work, right? Because I'm well rested, assuming that you've slept, right? In the morning, I have the capacity to do. So I will schedule the most difficult tasks in the morning, right? Fresh when I wake up. And there I have a suggestion that in the morning, try not to wake up and start making decisions. What do I have to do today? Should I do this first? Should I do that first? That scheduling should happen earlier on, so that you wake up in the morning and start running on autopilot. Are you getting me? You have to have your tasks for the day done the day before. Are you getting me? So that in the morning you don't have to wake up and now start choosing, because then in the morning energy has been used in making those decisions. Okay? Instead of using your energy making decisions, start working. Do this analysis at the end of the day. Did I meet my targets or not? Do I have to schedule more time tomorrow to do something which was left behind? And to even revert to that earlier thing, ma'am, I spent 2 hours doing something that I spent 1 hour, right? One more suggestion is that at 1 hour, when it was scheduled for that task to end, stop and postpone it for the next day, right? Or maybe after I finish the things for the day. Are you getting me? Treat it like school. Treat it like classes, right? This time has ended. Now I have to switch to the next task. Create hard targets, because if we give ourselves too much leeway, then we fall into that track of thinking, I can buy more time from the next task, right? And sleep later. And then the entire schedule spirals down into the dumps. Are you getting me? Understood? Any doubts? Any other problems related to time management? Please.
I want to add from psychological perspective. Ma'am has said what you need to do. I would like to add one thing, that we have to understand why this problem is occurring to us, right? We feel negative. We feel that we may not be able to achieve this dream. Sometimes UPSC looks like a star, a twinkling star, right? Out of our reach. Especially when you are failing prelims in consecutive years. And some people are stuck in mains cycle. They are failing mains year after another. Some people are stuck in interview cycle. So when you are stuck more than one time, this sense of doubt develops in your mind. And the reason is, basically, when you will evaluate it from psychological perspective, it is the conditioning. Your mind is conditioned now to think in that manner. If you have failed prelims, when next time prelims will approach, that fear will resurface. So if you are consistently missing your targets on daily basis, right? So next time when you have set the target, that fear will come back to you. You said, ki पढ़ते हैं पर लगता है कि टारगेट पूरा नहीं हो पाएगा। क्यों? क्योंकि वो पिछली बार नहीं हुआ है। आपका जो बॉडी, एक तरह से हमारा एक बॉडी क्लॉक होता है, एक सबकॉन्शियस माइंड होता है, देयर इज सबकॉन्शियस माइंड। Everything gets feed in subconscious mind. All our successes, all our failures, how we feel, everything is registered in subconscious mind without us knowing about it. So next time when you try to make a target and try to complete it, that subconscious mind pops that fear up. Until now it was under the surface, now it's up. Whether I would be able to clear it or not, whether I would be able to achieve it or not. Now, this whole point of self-transformation is deconditioning yourself. You have to decondition yourself. One of my mentors, when I left my job, a very good job, and started this preparation, after preparing for 1 year, I failed in prelims, right? So everybody is coming from a different background. So I could not afford to fail in prelims, especially after leaving the job. So I was not well. I was in the similar cycle. I was in the similar trap. I did not knew whether if I would give one more year, I would be able to clear it or not. So I have a mentor, academic mentor and a spiritual mentor. He said to me one thing: मन के हारे हार है और मन के जीते जीत, right? So the whole mystery lies in this मन. काफी लोगों ने कहा है कि जैसा आप सोचते हो आप वैसा बन जाते हो. It is true, but it is difficult. We have to understand how our मन is working, how our mind is working, what kind of thoughts we are feeding in every day, right? So if you want to achieve a target, first thing is decondition yourself. Do not think in that negative manner which you have been thinking every day. You will have to stop that cycle. And as I said before, the key lies in self-awareness. When you are aware that you are thinking negative, then only you can start to think positive. Second thing, don't expect quick results. You know, about transformation, Dalai Lama has said one thing: transformation is a brutal process. It's a long drawn process. It's not a quick result. Today you do something, tomorrow you reap the results. It does not happen that way. It is a very, very long process. Sometimes it takes a lifetime to change few things, right? So it is going to be a long process, but in UPSC it is not that long, right? 30 days are enough to decondition yourself and to see the change. Now about accountability. You said that you are alone, you are not accountable. Now, we have to understand that if we want to improve accountability and we are not able to do that on our own, so now there are two paths. First, we have to increase our sense of self-accountability. How you are going to increase it? I would say write a journal daily and ask yourself few questions. A few questions I can tell you, like what you can ask to yourself. That can help you. Yeah, so you can ask few questions daily to yourself, like, do I feel prepared and focused today? Am I completing my scheduled task? Am I making reasonable progress? Do I frequently work in my comfortable zone? Comfortable zone is also a very important issue. Since we are living alone here, away from our families, away from family troubles, we tend to live in a comfortable zone. And that is also a conditioning. And when somebody pushes us to go out of that comfort zone, we pushes them out of our life, right? So that's why there is no accountability. So distribute accountability, talk to friends, don't be in isolation. You know, make an announcement about your goals in a family WhatsApp group, that you're going to achieve this and that, so that somebody can ask you whether you have achieved it or not. So they will not ask you out of courtesy why you have not achieved it. But that question will pose a question to you, that why I have not achieved it. What is the problem? Now, as I have said earlier, the solution lies in finding the cause, the problem. Now I am not self-accountable. It is not enough. Why I am not self-accountable? That is important. You have to ask this question, why? And therefore you will have to distribute this responsibility of accountability to some of your good friends, some of your family members. One thing, always remember, ask for help. Have no ego about it. Right? Peer group or family is a resource which we don't utilize in this preparation well. Even those friends who are not part of this UPSC journey can help us a lot from coming out of very situations. So ask for help, set small targets, ask for help. Feel good in achieving small targets. Right? If you have to learn swimming, you don't jump into ocean. You first go to swimming pool. So that's how, if you are stuck somewhere, start by small chunks. Feel good about it, that now you are doing. Then you will see that your stamina will build up. It's like building a muscle. First day you go to the gym, you don't do much. If you will do much, some of you may have felt how it feels, right? It's very difficult to move an arm after that. So we do it in steps. It takes at least 2 to 3 months to be good at gym, to be good at running. Similarly, same is here. You will have to start with small and then go up higher. Yeah, that's all.
How to visualize the power of on subconscious mind?
Yeah, that's...
You said na ki for you must be in position to have self-awareness.
Yes.
So from where this self-awareness can be generated?
There are various tools. One of the tools that I and my friend have used is meditation. Next question. Yes.
सर आपने अभी स्पिरिचुअल मेंटरशिप के बारे में बात करी, थोड़ा मतलब इसके बारे में बताएंगे तो?
हाँ, so my spiritual mentorship is not from any coaching. He is my relative. So you will have to find that in your own family circle, in your own circle of brothers, cousins, friends, who may have that bent of mind. Right? Sometimes we needs to be introduced to such ideas which we have not tried well. Right? And spirituality is one of those things, especially in UPSC preparation. Failures makes you spiritual, because that is a coping mechanism also. Right? Yeah.
So those who are stuck in prelims loop, what they should do now?
Prelims. Okay.
And also the remaining time for the mains and optional, and slowly transition towards prelims. How to shift?
Okay. See, prelims is an objective paper. Established? Right? Prelims is an objective paper. The answer is in front of you. We have to choose. Done? Right. How do you prepare? 2 parts are there for your prelims preparation. Right? Part 1 is figuring out, is exploring and learning information. है ना? Part 2 is answering questions when I don't know anything about that question. है ना? 2 things. Right? Now, the number of questions that we will know is going to be low. And that is true for everybody. Yes? Does anybody ever know all the questions in a prelims ka paper? No? 50%? 25%? 25%. Maybe 25%. But can we attempt only 25% and go?
No.
No. Right? Should I attempt 100%?
Never.
No. Right? So inside of the paper, some decision making needs to happen. है ना? To learn that decision making, we have to practice. Practice is for that. And studying is for knowing those 25% wala questions. Are you getting me? So that is how we divide our prelims preparation. As for transition, sir will tell you how to transition from mains to prelims prep.
So you are asking about whether you should start prelims right now?
December month is there for the mains preparation along with the optional. How to integrate that with the prelim preparation, because previously I didn't qualify prelims, so my focus is also prelims.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So how many attempts have you given?
This will be the 4th.
This will be the 4th attempt, right? Okay, so first step, we have to know why we have not cleared prelims in our last 3 attempts. You will have to do a very exhaustive analysis about the mistakes that you have done in your previous attempts. I'll tell you how you can do it. Basically, there are few areas, few major areas to focus on, and if you are missing something in them, it means the probability of getting clearing prelims becomes bleak. First, since when you started last time. So if you are starting in March, it is a very less time, right? Some people thinks that prelims can be cleared by giving 2 to 3 months. I don't think so. It used to be the scenario in 2013, 14, 15 when prelims was easy. At that time you could have done it. Now no. Now you need at least 5 to 6 months of dedicated preparation. It means for an average student, the right time to start prelims preparation is 1st Jan. For a student who has not been able to clear prelims earlier, the right time is now. You have to do transition right now, so that you can work on the mistakes also. If you will start with other students, then that scope is gone. That time to work upon the mistakes is gone, right? First thing is about time. Second thing is, how many times did you do revision? I still remember that when I did not clear my second attempt, the attempt after leaving my job, I underestimated the importance of revision. At that time, I saw one of the videos of Ayush sir, the director and founder of ForumIAS, and he told that in the worst case also, 6 revisions are must. Right? We people who are coming from college, especially engineering college, are known to study just a night before the semester exam. So engineering colleges have spoiled us. We have lost the importance of revision in our lives. UPSC will teach you the hard way. Right? So at least 6 revisions, and after that also you will have to evaluate yourself. If you are not able to recall after 6 revision, do more. Third question, how you are doing revisions? Now the most conventional way of doing revision is that I'll take polity book, I'll read polity book for 10 days, cover everything, then I will take any other subject, I'll forget polity. After 2 months, I will remember that I had studied polity 2 months back, and now I will have to put the same effort. This is conventional way of revision. This way of revision is not good, especially in these times when prelims is getting tough and tougher. You have to do micro revisions. Micro revision means topic-wise, chapter-wise revisions. And always remember, the frequency of revision matters. It is not that if I am revising Parliament chapter, I have to devote 1 day. No. Train yourself to revise Parliament chapter in 2 to 3 hours. Micro revisions. Frequency of revision matters. Now, moving on from revision, what are the other mistakes? Other mistakes. So, did you solve previous year questions? Mostly people say that, yes, they have solved. How many times? 1 time. Or at max 2 times. No, this is wrong. This is you are making the mistake. Previous year question is not a practice set, like test series that you can solve just once and take feedback and then forget about it. Previous year question is the key to clear prelims. It is a key that is most underrated thing in the prelims preparation. People who are in 4th, 5th attempt, they don't take previous year questions seriously. They are making same mistakes again and again. They are not able to diagnose what mistake they are doing. And that's why the result again and again is same. Right? Previous year questions. Next thing, how many tests do you do? So some people will say that they did 100 tests. After doing 100 tests, you didn't clear prelims. Strange. Right? So what is the mistake? Mistake is that you didn't take feedback. You were too much focused on giving test. So giving test gives you a adrenaline push. You feel good. You feel like you have achieved something. So you want to give more and more tests. But you have forgotten that just giving test is not enough. You have to do 2 things after test. 1, content-wise feedback. It means the question that you are doing wrong or you are leaving. there should be a copy where their short answers should be there, so that you can build up some resource, a consolidated resource to revise from, right? Second thing is you need to analyze why you are doing any question wrong, and the questions that you are doing right just by mistake. You also need to focus on those questions, because your luck was good, that question got correct, but that luck will not favor you in the UPSC exam. So you will have to do a very thorough analysis of every question that you are doing wrong, either on Excel sheet or on paper, and ask yourself 4 questions. 1, knowledge problem, पता ही नहीं था, didn't knew. तो वहां पर क्या वर्क करना है, उस टॉपिक को पढ़ो अच्छे से, अब दोबारा उससे क्वेश्चन आए तो गलत नहीं होना चाहिए. This second is the most recurring problem that I am going to tell you. यूपीएससी के पेपर में आपको ये लगेगा कि क्वेश्चन मैंने पढ़ा है, ये मुझे पता है, लेकिन फिर भी आप गलत करके आओगे, क्योंकि आपको पता है लेकिन आपको बहुत पहले पता था, आपने रिवाइज नहीं किया, इसलिए अब आपको पता है पर सही नहीं पता है, राइट? रिवीजन इशू. This is the most recurring problem that students are facing in prelims. Most of the question that you will do wrong is just due to lack of revision, right? So focus on this. Third is silly mistakes. You cannot afford to do silly mistakes. Question गलत पढ़ लिया, ऑप्शन गलत पढ़ लिया, बहुत तेजी में थे, सोचा नहीं. ऐसे अगर 2-3 क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी में गलत हो गए और इफ यू आर ऑन द बॉर्डर, यू विल बी आउट ऑफ द लिस्ट, राइट? हुआ है ना आपके साथ ऐसा? हाँ, बिल्कुल सबके साथ होता है. कम से कम 2 से 3 क्वेश्चन तो गलत करके आते हैं, वो हम बचा सकते हैं. 2-3 क्वेश्चन, 2-3 क्वेश्चन का मतलब हो गया 8 नंबर, नेगेटिव मिला लें तो 8 नंबर एक बहुत बड़ा रेंज होता है, राइट? चौथी चीज होती है लॉजिक, क्योंकि हम एलिमिनेशन डेवलप करते हैं अपना, वी डेवलप दिस एलिमिनेशन स्किल्स, वी जनरली डू सम लॉजिक थिंग to eliminate, and sometimes that is not logic, our assumption. We are just assuming without any basis, and we think that we are eliminating. So this is also a mistake due to which people do question wrong. You have to work on at this level. You know, if you can work at this level, no force on earth can stop your prelims. No one can stop it, because nobody is working that much. So if you can work, you can just conquer prelims, right? This was third thing, previous year question. Now test series. How many tests to do? For the test, ma'am has very good formula. Yeah.
Again, empirical. All right. How do you decide how many questions to do? Engineering students know this, that for entrance exam, there is a target, right? There is a target and you have to chase that target. I will do so many questions and then I will feel better. ठीक है? And I create it in such a manner that you can calculate on your own. All right? My basic requirement from every student who wants to write prelims is that you will do 5,000 questions minimum. 5,000 baseline. ठीक? Okay? Now, if you have failed prelims previously, okay? Every prelims that I have failed, extra 1,000 questions per failed attempt, extra practice. Because I have baggage. I feel bad. I failed in prelims. I made some mistakes. So penalty for that, extra practice. ठीक है? So 5,000 questions baseline plus 1,000 for every failed attempt. Okay? Then one more problem could be, ma'am, I have never written prelims before. I need more practice. If you've never written prelims before, if you have 0 experience, add extra 1,000 questions for extra practice. Granted? Understood? On basis of this, you will have a target. Your target becomes how much? 9,000? ठीक है? Somebody's target is 8,000. Somebody's target is 6,000. Somebody's target is 10,000. You get it? You have your target now. Now you are required to chase it. And there is a reason that I'm calling out these numbers. See, 5,000 questions means 1 test series and previous year questions. You understand? That number is done by that. After that, you have to keep practicing whether or not you can use this repository of basic knowledge to solve tests. Are you with me here? Right? Every successive question that you do, it has to be benchmarked against the quality of things that we have learned. Okay, and I'm not saying number of tests. Please remember, I'm not saying number of tests, I'm not saying subject also. I'm just saying number of questions, number of unique questions. Are you getting me? You need to have this exposure. And this has to happen before every prelims that you do. God forbid you have to do another prelims, but if you do have to do, you have to repeat this practice. Why? Because we treat it like an athletics competition. If you are going into the Olympics, all right, you have to run in the race. You are world champion. Now, what does that mean? Before every race, you have to be in top condition. Are you getting me? You have to be in top condition right before your race, right before your prelims. You get me? Now, you have to reach that potential before that exam. For that, you have to take that run up. Are you getting me? That practice will condition your mind to think in an objective manner. Are you getting me? Because you have to do this continuous self-assessment that sir is telling you, right? You have to think, am I doing right or wrong? Can I base my fact on this? Am I sure about this or not? How sure am I? And all of these are feelings, right? And feelings are not quantified, right? We are never completely sure of any feeling that we have, right? So this practice is to build confidence, to identify that feeling again and again and again. Are you getting me? So that run up, right? This stretch, this warm up run before your prelims is essential. And this is true for all MCQ wala, negative marking, competitive, objective papers. Whether it is CAT, whether it is UPSC, whether it is JEE, right? Whether it is NEET, anything. It's the same formula for everything, right? Do you agree? Anybody who's from this, competition wala question background? You get it? That is true for all of these papers. So all of my humanities students who've not been exposed to this cathartic, right, experience when you're 14, 15, right? This has to happen. Okay? So you have to be very, very strict about this also. Test has to be done in the morning, test conditions, not in the afternoon. Are you getting me? Because for UPSC, exam timing is fixed. There is no time to revise. You have to go travel everything, right? So you have to replicate those conditions. If you're doing your test at 9 o'clock at night, not test conditions. So my target of 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 questions has to be in test conditions in the morning, 100 questions in one go. Are you getting me? That has to happen.
Add few more points because I was telling you the reasons of failure, right? So after the number of tests, now we have discussed what we need to do, how we need to study, how we need to revise, but all that will work when we are in a state where we are stable mentally, emotionally. This is also one of the major cause people are failing prelims, because in the last month they get panicked. Stress, anxiety. You just run away from the battle. You give up. Your practice and your preparation may not be the cause of your failure, but this attitude of giving up in the last month, just because of the fear of unknown, is the culprit. Okay? So I'll come to this later. After that, I would like to tell you one more cause of failure. Okay, you have done good. You have not got panic, no anxiety before the exam. Now you have got anxiety just before one day of the exam, that night. If tomorrow is exam, now you are not in the state of emotional or mental stability. This thing you will have to forecast before, that it may happen. And you will have to develop a plan to come up with a solution. That if such things are happen, how I am going to respond? Because at that time you will not respond, you will react. Right? Now, third thing how people fail prelims is in the prelims examination hall. You are prepared, you have revised, you have done everything that should be done. But now, after seeing 4 to 5 questions that you don't know, you are again in that self-destruction mode. So this is a game that is here in the mind. So prelims preparation is twofold. One, you are doing something outside. A lot of work has to be done inside. Right? You will have to prepare yourself to not give up till that OMR sheet is submitted. And how to do that, we will come to that later. Yeah, any other questions?
सर अभी नवंबर दिसंबर का जो टाइम है मतलब, तो अभी ऐसा है कि आई एम अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ कोड 4 बैच, तो फुल एंड टेस्ट जो है सारे जैन फेब में शेड्यूल्ड है, और अभी जैसा है कि मतलब प्रीलिम्स का भी एक प्रेशर बन रहा है, तो इंटीग्रेटेड में मतलब मेंस का आंसर राइटिंग भी है और एमसीक्यू की प्रैक्टिस भी है, तो एक दिन में इनको कैसे इंटीग्रेट करना। और कभी कभी माइंड में फियर रहता है कि ठीक है फुल एंड टेस्ट सारे मेंस के दे भी देंगे, लेकिन अगर उसके बाद प्रीलिम्स नहीं हुआ तो फिर कैसे मैनेज करेंगे।
Two problems. Problem one, ma'am, how do I schedule my time? You know? Problem two, if I write tests and I don't clear prelims, then what happens? You know?
Yes.
So problem number one first. How do I divide my time when I am, spent between two options? Whether I write tests or do I write OMR sheet wala, है ना? Objective versus subjective. True? Okay. Who else has this problem? Very good. So we're not alone. Again, reiterating. So what does this mean? I told you that for prelims, right? A lot of it is going to be practice. है ना? Nobody knows anything more than 25, 30, maximum 35 questions, right? But you're going to attempt the same number without knowing, right? So if during this period, when you're also writing means answers, if you give your prelims tests without a lot of studying also, then you are practicing guesswork. Is everyone with me? Right? If you are doing a prelims ka test without actively studying for it, you are practicing the art of making guesses. Okay? Now, the second thing is, when you are doing a reverse model of preparation, what does that mean? That first you prepare for mains and then you do prelims. Right? The understanding is that when you're preparing for mains, you will know the story, you will know the background, you will know the scheme of how things happened, right? And as sir says, we study and then we forget, which is natural because we are human beings, right? After we forget, what will we forget? We remember the story, but we forget the facts. You know, facts we are revising for prelims, revising directly and also revising through the tests. Right? Both of these options are filling in the blanks of my mains forgetfulness. Okay? So, remember the story, but you'll forget facts. Okay? So, everything is moving towards the same target. So, it's not that imperative that you give up answer writing right now. For this month, I'm talking about December. Right? Because there's one more thing. Polity now, prelims is asking philosophy also. I will remember all of the articles. They will ask me what is the fundamental, philosophy of preamble. Then what will happen? Do you understand? That's why mains ka preparation is also important for prelims. Theek? And when you switch, then it's okay. As sir says, it requires dedicated studying. That is answer to part 1. Right? Part 2 is how to schedule. है ना? So scheduling will be, as I told you, that you don't really need to study a lot for prelims at this stage. Na, practice test. So do your prelims test in the morning, right? Do your analysis. This brings us to 1 o'clock. है ना? After that you can do mains. Clear na? Simple divide. Problems? No? है ना? Because I'm giving, see, the way that I'm structuring your day is, I'm giving you extra time also. I did not say noon, I said 1 o'clock. Starting at 9 or maybe 8. 2 hours to do the test. Rest. Analysis. Right? Maybe give up, do whatever. Still half an hour left. Are you getting me? Then you reach 1 o'clock and then you can do mains answer writing. And from 1 o'clock till your end of day is also sufficient time to do answer writing. Hai na? Are you getting me? Yes? People agree? Okay. Not anything to add?
Ma'am has said in a great detail about how to do these things, right? I would just like to add few things. Few problems that you can face after scheduling is that you overshoot your target, right? You have fixed a target that I'll do by 1, but by 1 your target is not completed. What to do in that condition? In that condition, you will have to train yourself to do time-bound study. Whatever time has been given to you First, assess before whether you can do this task in that time or not. And if you have assessed, then complete that task within that period only, even if you have to do it fast, right? So studying, there are few methods. First, studying in great detail, like we have ages to study, right? But that is not the case right now. We have little bit time. So we have to be little bit more productive. Do this resolution to yourself that, okay, I'll complete this task within 3 hours. And how you can complete with it in within 3 hours? Only when you will make a target of half hour and half hour. You can accomplish a big task only by breaking it into smaller tasks. There is no other way around. If you will watch the time after 3 hours, 100% you will not be able to do it. That is a given fact. But if you will reassess yourself after every half an hour, then 100% you would be near the target, 80 to 90%. Right? So one is this issue of overshooting. Second is only this, that you will have to be very much fast in reading when it comes to reading books like Lakshmikant and Spectrum. These standard books you have read number of times. Now lot of things are highlighted. Right? You know what is important, what you forget. So be fast. Achieve that revision in smaller time, so that in December month you can also give some time to mains and still cover prelims because you are doing it fast. Right? Only 2 things. Any other questions?
One thing to add. Ma'am, how do I read fast? My reading is slow. है ना? And sometimes it gets slower with time. That also happens, right? I'm reading the same sentence, only 3 words have gone into my mind. I'm getting tired now. And ma'am is saying, ma'am, study till that, after 1 o'clock till the night you do mains. But I get tired, I can't read. There are certain, hard solutions to this, right? Normally we are sitting and reading in our mind, right? Step 1, when reading in our mind gets difficult, step 1 is start reading aloud, right? 100% of your mental capacity will start being used, right? In just reading that thing aloud. Okay? When that gets difficult, eventually you will get tired of reading aloud also, right? Then you stand up. Put your book in front of you, stand and look at it. Small things will help you focus better, right? If I'm standing, right? If I'm standing and reading something, my body language sends a signal to my brain. I can read faster when I'm standing. है ना? After that, when you're tired of standing, also start walking around, right? And when you get tired of starting to walk around also, then you can stop, because now there's nothing else left to do. Are you getting me? So the solution again is that every time I try out a new thing, I can maybe stretch out for another half hour or maybe 45 minutes, right? And just pushing through will help me get more done. Are you with me here? Right? So sir is saying that read quickly, and I'm telling you how. Sir is the brains, I'm the practical. ठीक है? Yeah.
I would just like to show you something. This thing that ma'am has talked is contained in a philosophical way in this book. It's basically a concept called Kaizen, right? It is a quality improvement process, right? So basically, this is implemented in corporate, in productions.
Automobile companies came up with it. That's where I learned it, है ना? Kaizen, improving manufacturing processes little by little, constantly.
You can work on little things, and over time you will feel that you have improved a lot. So we can apply this technique in UPSC preparation also, especially every time in prelims, mains, as well as in interview. Because here we are reading day by day, yeah, hour by hour. So at one point of time, we can only focus on one improvement. We can't improve lot of things simultaneously, right? So you will have to be very much specific. The task has to be little, but over the time you will feel that you have achieved a good deal. Yeah.
Sir, most of time we underestimate the power of small target and one day. And in long term that get accumulated. But it become very tough task to overcome all that.
Fine. One thing I have already told you, you have conditioned yourself to think in that way. Like we all have conditioned ourselves to think in that way. So one story I would like to tell you. For example, there is complete darkness in the room, right? You can't see anything. But if I switch on the light completely, I can see everything. This is a very small and irrelevant story, but I'll tell you how you can relate to it. Till yesterday, you were not understanding the importance of smaller tasks, right? You were in the darkness. You can't see the importance of doing small chunks of work. But this session is like a switch. You have turned it on. Now you know the importance of small tasks. It means that ignorance has gone away. Now you're in the light, right? It means that we will have to train ourselves to execute the ideas that we are learning. Do it one day, reassess yourself at the night. If you're not able to do it, write that down, why you're not doing it. Try again next day. As I have said earlier, transformation is a long and brutal process. What is important is keep trying, keep assessing yourself. If assessment is gone, there is no direction. If you will, just not try, then there is no goal that you are running towards to, right? So keep trying, keep assessing yourself, and don't expect results quickly. It will take time. Ask for help, right?
My situation is that I am stuck in a mains loop. Means I clear prelims every time, but in the mains I got stuck. So for me, what should be the time of transformation from this mains journey to prelims journey for the 2023 attempt?
So basically, you are asking that what improvements you can do regarding mains preparation.
Yes, and then when can I shift to the prelims mode?
Okay.
Totally. Because for me, the time taken for the prelims will be lesser than the time taken for the mains. That is what I am asking: is how to do and when to do.
How much time does it take you to prep for prelims?
It took me for the first time. It took me 5 to 6 months, and then the second time it took me 3 to 4 months.
Right? So you know this for sure, that 4 months is currently your max, right? Right now exam is at? Huh? What is the date? Tell me.
28th May.
28th of May. है ना? So subtract 4 months from there,
Yes.
right? How much time do you have?
February, and then 3 months.
Right? You get it? So your target has to be, custom made according to your abilities. One, you have experience, and according to my calculations, right, you don't have to do extra questions for failed attempts. You have to do 5,000. 5,000 in 4 months is aram se. There's plenty of time. है ना? And you're giving yourself sufficient time. So till then, you have the ability, you have the privilege of running after mains. But make sure that this time that you're giving to mains, you are attacking your mains preparation in such a manner that you're able to pick up why things were going wrong earlier, which means very, very clear micro analysis. Which paper, which topic, what question, and why. Are you getting me? You have to use your entire ability of critical thinking on what you did in the exam. What does the exam feel like to me? Can I finish in time? Right? Because anybody who has written mains knows that whatever I study, what I remember is what I learnt in school. है ना? Happens, right? Jindagi mein, anything I have studied, I'm using everything in mains, but the things I've been trying to memorize in the past 4 months, I remember nothing. Right? Because mains, we have to rely on our long-term memory. Right? So what I wanted to run after is create repositories of information, things that you can write in the mains from your long-term memory, things that you remember forever, which means mind maps, which means methods of analysis, right? Which means how do I generate content and not just consume content, right? When you're watching YouTube, you are a content consumer, right? Everybody who's creating a video is what? A content creator. You have to shift from being a content consumer to become a content creator for mains. Are you getting me? Happy?
And how to this generate content means that is the main obstruction that I face. Because whatever I remember, I can write, but I cannot generate in the exam because that time is so less for.
But see, you'll be able to pick up. It is different for every subject. है ना? Some subjects I am comfortable in, I can remember answers. है ना? Some questions I cannot. Like sir is good with polity, I'm horrible at polity. I will remember nothing. Sir will remember everything. Similarly for you, right? By that logic, you have to identify in what subject I have to do what. And for that, I recommend you come to us. Come to us personally, right? Ma'am, tell me for this subject, how do I do something for long term? I have 3 months to do my answer writing. Are you getting me? See, there are certain solutions which are applicable to all. Anxiety, how to schedule everything. But for some reasons, right, we have to do individual accounting. है ना? कि ma'am, my personal problem is this, right? That we have to do accordingly. Agreed?
We are about to close our session. If there is any one question we can take.
Currently, I am taking like 12 to 14 minutes, ma'am, for writing answer, and I have checked like word limit as well. But I'm taking 12 to 14 minutes, and also I am facing some issue in prioritizing those points.
Okay.
So sometimes it happens like very important point. I remember later. Yes. So 2 points. I'm taking more time, and secondly, how to prioritize.
To that again, it is there for some people, right? Okay, so how do we do that is that there are certain questions that I want you to prepare. See, again, UPSC preparation is not just studying. We call it preparation, है ना? That means there are other factors involved, है ना? And after college, engineering students, right, and other students also, what do we think? I have read the book, I can go in the exam and write the answer. In UPSC, nothing happens, right? In UPSC, we don't remember anything, है ना? So what does that mean? That expected questions I want you to learn. Learn in the sense not verbatim, right? Not every word, but I want you to think and plan. What do I want to write in an answer about fundamental rights? What do I want to write in an answer about inclusive development? Because I have identified, I have analyzed past year papers. है ना? Question number 16 or 17 in GS paper 2 is fixed. NGO, SHG, pressure groups. 3 questions. I will prepare and go. Are you getting me? Right? Similar questions, things that I know that they keep on asking. I will prepare to the level of knowing my examples, knowing my diagram, knowing my introduction, conclusion, whatever. I will put in all of my efforts so that for that question, if by chance they ask me, I can get above average marks. So on and so forth for as many questions that you can predict. Once you start doing that, what happens is that in your mind, you see a framework developing. है ना? Because for most of the problems on this planet, in our country to do with government, has what problems? There is no funding. A project is not being implemented properly. There is bureaucracy. है ना? And what else? There is low awareness. ठीक है? True for everything. But for every topic, I will change this to suit that issue. है ना? So as many questions as you do, you start to see this pattern. And pattern recognition is an important characteristic for all human beings. This is how we have evolved, right? So the more data you do, pattern recognition happens in your mind automatically, right? But you have to force yourself to try and learn these questions. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? That helps you reduce your thinking time because you've identified that word limit is okay. It's not writing time. It is thinking time. Thinking time has thinking solutions. Writing time has writing solutions, right? Yes, sir?
Yes. I would like to add just one point. When you are taking more time, one of the culprits can be lack of revision, right? Because you are revising less. Now you have to generate points, common sense based point in the exam. So 2 things. 1, short notes. If you are reading from big sources, just try making very imperfect notes. Notes need not to be perfect. There are traps everywhere in this preparation where we can fall. If we want to make notes, we want to make it perfect way. There we will fail. Make imperfect notes, but revise them like 10-20 times, right? Then you will see that your recall capacity will increase. You would be able to recall, not just recall, the whole page will come into your mind when you are focused and writing, right? So one thing is you revise more. How to revise more? By making short notes.
Make schedule or following any particular program will suffice.
So the benefit of a program, for example, you're doing MGP, let's assume.
GSM, MGP or SMG for prelims.
Right, right. So the benefit of a program is that you have a schedule from an institution. For example, when you go to school, there is a timetable. We don't ask school children to make a timetable, right? Tell me how you will learn your tables. Are you getting it? The school will do it for you. Similarly, the coaching institution will create a schedule for you, which you will be forced to run after, which is in fact a good thing, right? It is useful for us because we are accountable to an external source. Also, the people who are making the schedule for you have been in the same boat, right? So we can estimate that this job can be done during this time and has to be done in this time. Otherwise, syllabus will not be covered. Are you getting me? Henna? Do we agree?
One thing specific to SFG. So I have enrolled in that, but the level 1 has very detailed chapter-wise syllabus covering NCRTs also. But that might not be my primary source for that particular topic. So should I now be referring to NCRT's chapters and or should I only be revising my original source and then giving the tests? Because what I have realized is reading once will not be sufficient. If I'm reading something new now, I need to revise it n number of times to be able to recollect it. So how to go about level 1 specifically?
So question becomes, ma'am, can I rely on my book or do I have to read NCRT? Henna?
Yeah.
Right?
Do I have to read the sources that have been prescribed or is it okay to continue with what we have been doing?
NCRT is mentioned. Why it is mentioned? It is mentioned because if some question in SFG comes and you can't find it in Lakshmikant, you can find it in NCRT. It does not mean that you will have to make NCRT your primary source for reading. That will remain Lakshmikant. You will have to do multiple rounds of revision of Lakshmikant only. But if you encounter any particular question and if you want to get clarity on that, you can refer to NCERT. But that can't be the primary source of reading. So I would recommend you to stick with your original source, revise it multiple times and give SFG test and take a proper feedback. After that, if you need for any concept, I'll tell you what. So questions are like the appropriate definition of liberty, right? Such kind of thing are better in NCRT, conceptual. So if such kind of thing you have to refer NCRT, it is fine. But we can't substitute NCRT as our primary source for revision. Great. So we are closing our session. We'll get your personal doubt in the individual mentorship. I'm closing the session with some words from Lord Buddha, right? So when Lord Buddha was in search of enlightenment, he was sitting under a Bodhi tree. So we can imagine how much difficulties he might be facing. We want to give up, right? Because we are facing many difficulties. We are facing difficulties in consistency. We are facing procrastination, lethargy. So Buddha must also be facing all these things. He was also a human being. So I would just want to tell you what he said to himself just before he got his enlightenment to continue on that path, right? So when temptation came to him, to Buddha, to give up search for truth and to go back to the world, he conquered it with mighty determination, saying, "Let the blood and flesh of this body dry up. Let the blood and flesh of this body dry up, and let the skins and sinews from these bones fall. I will not leave this seat before having attained that absolute supreme enlightenment." Right. So this was the resoluteness of Buddha. We must try to find refuge in his word if we ever think of giving up. Okay, thank you.